So hi everybody, welcome to The Garage episode 4, and today I'd like to introduce to you Jess Dreden. Jess is and her husband and young family live in Christchurch, and Jess is an elder at Hope Presbyterian. So welcome, Jess.
Hi Daryl, thanks for having me.
Good to have you. So what kind of questions are you mulling over at the moment?
Yeah, cool. Lots of questions, to be honest, but I started, after we came out of Easter, I started reading through Acts kind of as obviously a continuation of the Easter story, and I was reminded again, how the disciples, Jesus's mates, are waiting in expectation, in Jerusalem for this promised helper that was going to come, and there was this sense of expectation, and I've seen a lot of things around the place recently around this global kind of sense or sort of stirring that God is sort of doing something, that maybe he's up to something a little bit new or a little bit different, or that expectation that something's coming. And certainly it's something that as a church we've been talking about and sensing. And so I was thinking in that space, and then thinking, like, as we do at the start of every year, we start planning and we make these plans both in our personal life and in our ministry or missional kind of focused lives. And then something like this COVID-19 has happened, and it's sort of provided this really awesome opportunity to just pause and reflect and kind of consider and ask those questions. And so the kind of some of the things that have been going around in my head is, like, what, as a church, what are the opportunities and challenges that this kind of pause has presented to us? Like, so what are the things that possibly we've wanted to try and we haven't for whatever reason, and actually this is a great time to try those things, so the opportunities. But also, what are the things that were working, or at least that we thought were working, that actually weren't working, or that aren't going to moving forward? And we actually kind of just reassessing, like, actually, do we just need to let some things go and let them die, and and what are those things? And I just think if we could take some time collectively as a church to think, what are the new things that God's stirring? And then what are the things that actually we've been holding on to, trying to resuscitate longer than we should have? and the other thing that interests me about that is what is our attitude as a church to those opportunities and challenges? What's our kind of internal response and attitude towards the call to kind of be able to adapt and move into something new, and also let something die? And are we so rooted in our systems and our plans, and dare I say it, some of our traditions, that we actually are unresponsive and we don't have the ability to move when it's quite clear that a season is changing or that there are new opportunities to push into? And so I've been thinking about that, and then I was listening to something the other day where they were talking about Mark 2:22, and just that question, or that idea of, like, are we trying to put new wine into old wineskins? And it seemed really relevant to where my head had been thinking around, just that ability that maybe there's some new things God's stirring and we need to let go of the old. We're trying to put new wine into old wineskins. And so that's kind of what struck me. That's one of the things that's been rolling around in my head. And I guess just the opportunity not to see COVID-19 or a lockdown or a time when we can't meet together in the same way as the church as a disruption or a detour to our plans that we've made. But actually, none of that was, I've just been reminded, like, none of this is a surprise to God. He knew what was coming. He knew what was going to be going on for us this year. And so I just wonder how open we are to assessing and maybe recalibrating those plans and where we're actually going as a church. So that's my question.
Great questions. Fantastic. Thanks, Jess.
Oh, good.